I go for refuge and turn my light into the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and turn my light into the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and turn my light into the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and turn my light into the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanye joda zoge jonam la chanjo pardo tane yapsunch nage jin zoge be sonam dola benjir sanye jubara jo sanye joda zoge jonam la chanjo pardo tane yapsunch nage jin zoge be sonam ge dola benjir sanye jubara jo Sanje joda zoge jonam la chanju bardo dane gyapsu che nage jin zoge be sonam ge tola benjire sanje jubara isho Om ye darama he tu prabhavam he tum te sham datha gato yavatat Tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha Om Hetu prabhavam Hetum tesham tathagato yavatat Tesham chayo nirodha Evam vati mahashramanaye svaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham tathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha Evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, so now we are on verse 4. The question that we were discussing is at the point that Okay. Pawan is very interested in that. Okay, you discussed in a group. Okay. Okay, the non-composite space, is it discussed in any other groups? Group 1, who's group 1? Discussed?
Yes.
Group 2?
Yes.
Discussed? Discuss about the non-composite space? Group 3? Discussed? Very good. Group 4? Group 5? Group 6? How many groups are there? 7, 6, 9 groups. Okay, Russian groups. Okay. So all groups discussed on the non-composite space. Very good. Okay, non-composite space. It's interesting. So tell me, Bhavani, what do you understand by non-composite? Mike is with you. What do you understand by non-composite space?
Hello.
Yes.
Geshe, composite, the meaning of composite is something which consists of parts, right? It can be divided.
Okay.
Now I see this space, the sky,
Yes.
and I divide it into parts. So I am still confused why composite, non-composite.
Okay, that's a good question. Okay. Okay. Bhavani, is this your first time to Ladakh? When did you come?
18th
18th. And where you came from?
from US.
Okay. And how long will you be here?
Till 1st July.
Okay, 1st July. Okay. Okay, so now the Bhavani is asking a very interesting question. Composite means something composed of parts. And this space, that's not the parts. So how do you talk about the composite, non-composite space? Anyone who has to give the answer, quick. Anyone who has to give the answer? Okay, this one, Sunla. Make sure that Bhavani get a good answer to carry to America.
Yeah, Angela. So, according to my understanding, the space is actually composed of parts like in the directions perspective, yeah, east, west, north, south, other north. So that's why it's the composition of parts direction.
Okay, what Sunam is saying is that Bhavani, when we say parts, so instead of seeing like parts in the form of particles or time and so forth, we can also think of the say directions: east, west, north, south. So from here, let's say where is the east? Something there. Okay, I'll trust Jorasavilla. Where's the east?
Difference to what?
No, where is the east? So here, you in the hall. Where's the east?
East is here. All the side. For this hall, the east is this again.
Okay, so the two seniors are talking this direction is the east. Some say this, some say this. Now somebody says this one. And all four done.
North is.
Okay, it's fine, it's fine. Okay, let's say east.
East west.
Hey, Jigme, tell me. Okay, east, west, north, south. Okay, let's say, west, correct, not correct, don't worry. East, west, north, south. So they are north. They east, I'm west, and you are in the south. You getting it? So this space is divided into four.
Okay, so when we talk about the infinite space, there is no division, even if you say, but it's.
Okay, my question to you is: in America, is there space?
Yes.
In India, is there space? Okay, so same space. You brought.
No, it extends.
It extends. Yes, it's not small. It's big, not small. Big means there's space here which is not here.
Yes. You mean it's like continuous?
Continuous, yes, continuous, like river. River like continuous, but the river, the water which is now in the Bengal, now in Rishikesh, now in Gangotri. We can segment this, although it's continuous, we can divide it. You got it? So this is composite. You getting it? Okay, now the next thing is for all of us. Okay, you stretch your arm in front of you. You stretch your arm. You stretch your arm. Okay, good. If you are sitting, okay, the Raman, you stretch your arm towards the pillar. Stretch your arm. You cannot stretch because, and if you try to stretch, it'll hit the wall. So before you hit the wall, you know that I cannot stretch too much because others is stretch. I stretch. He doesn't stretch. Why? He could see a space. I could see space. He cannot see space. He's blocked by a pillar. The space that we see is known as composite space. The space which our eyes can see is known as composite space. You getting it? And later on, gradually you must get conviction how it is, why, how it is. Number one, it's a space, and why it's known as composite space. You getting it? Okay, so this is the space that we see. That is known as the composite space. The next is non-composite space. What is non-composite space? This next question. Opposite of that. Okay, that's easy. Okay, thank you. Yes, Mike. Янзумла.
Несоставное пространство имеет характеристику отсутствия препятствий. Non-composite space has characteristics of absence of obstructions.
Very good. Very good. Okay, now let me explain this. Now let me explain this. This space, which we can see, it has multiple attributes, multiple qualities or attributes. For example, this space is not a chocolate. You agree? This space is not a human being. You agree? There are many such qualities, and out of these qualities, there's one. Okay, so what we said is that what is my hand? I'm asking Pavanila.
Right now, nothing is there.
Okay, very good. I like Bhavani's approach. Nothing is there. Now what is there? Flower. Now what is there? Nothing is there. No flower. Nothing is there. Absence of flower is there?
Yes.
Absence of flower is there. So absence of flower, it exists, but it does not exist as a substance. You're getting it? Why you said that there's nothing there is because there's no substance there. For ordinary people, when we say exist, not exist, exist, things, no things, means there should be substance. Since there's no substance there, we say there's nothing. Actually, the absence of flower exists. So absence of flower is known as it does not have a substance. Because it does not have a substance, it does not have parts. Because it does not have parts, it is non-composite. Absence of flower. Therefore, it is non-composite. Now, the space that we see between us, this space has many qualities. This space is absent of being a chocolate. This space is being absent of obstruction. There's no obstruction between you and me. Absence of obstruction. Absence of obstruction is composite, non-composite. Absence of flower is composite, non-composite. Non-composite. So absence of the obstruction of this space, that is non-composite. So that quality, the space that we see, is the composite space, and out of the space has many qualities. Absence of chocolate, absence of obstruction, and so forth. Of these, absence of obstruction, that is known as non-composite space. Is a name label given. What's the meaning of Bhavani?
What's the meaning? It's the name of a goddess.
Are you goddess? You're not goddess. You're male. If you're at all you're a goddess, you should be god, not goddess, right? But it's fine. I'm Bhavani. Yes, I'm Bhavani. Nothing wrong. Likewise, this attribute, the quality of the absence of obstruction of this space that we see, that quality is which quality? Quality of the absence of obstruction is known as non-composite space.
And that is permanent?
Oh yes. What does not have a substance, which exists without a substance, is always permanent. What's the opposite permanent? Hey, impermanent. Impermanent means changing. Impermanent means changing. So to change, there should be substance to undergo change. If there's no substance to change, then it's unchanging. If it's unchanging, it's not impermanent. If it's not impermanent, it should be permanent. Got it?
So only qualities can be impermanent in that.
Okay, this is a good question. Okay, we all think about it. Does it mean that only qualities can be non-composite, right? Object per se cannot be the qualities. What's the difference between quality and the object? So give me an example of object.
Water.
Water. Okay. Wetness is the quality and the water is the object. So which water?
Any water.
Water of Ngari Institute.
Yeah.
So water of Ngari Institute is quality of water.
Yeah.
It's not any water. It's a water of something.
But the wetness.
Wetness also quality. Okay. Let's keep it there for the time being. You understood non-composite space? You can go happily to America. Good. Okay. So now let's continue. So what we said is that we need to understand, hey, this morning we spent a lot of time for what? To understand what? Yes, why? You're getting it? So we discuss even more. That is the three principal aspects of the path. So after that, we discuss many more things. To analysis, ultimate analysis, conventional analysis, and what? Somebody can take me more? Invalid, the ultimate analysis, valid ultimate analysis, and then we said more. We said something even more important thing. Okay, these something is object or not object is decided by the conventional analysis, and something which is objective or not objective is decided by the ultimate analysis. Okay, so say what attracts the miseries? What is root of the miseries? Self-grasping ignorance. Self-grasping ignorance belongs to the ultimate analysis, conventional analysis. Hey, self-grasping ignorance belongs to ultimate analysis, conventional analysis. Raise your hands. Okay, raise hands those who say conventional analysis. Those who say conventional analysis. Those who do ultimate analysis. I said this is ultimate analysis. Ultimate analysis doesn't mean that it should be valid. It can be invalid also. You remember? So therefore we said, because the self-grasping ignorance sees things as objectively real. The mind which says it's objectively real, no objectively real. Who is saying this? Ultimate analysis is saying this. You're getting it? Whether things are objectively real or not, which is the mind which analyzes that? Ultimate analysis. So therefore the self-grasping ignorance is ultimate analysis, but it is the invalid ultimate analysis. You're getting it? So with the invalid ultimate analysis, the outcome is fear. Outcome is the fear of samsara. You're getting it? Okay. So with this ultimate analysis, self-grasping ignorance, the ultimate analysis, it gives rise to fear. Now what should we do? How to remove this invalid ultimate analysis? We have to introduce the valid ultimate analysis. What is a valid ultimate analysis? Yes.
Wisdom of emptiness.
Wisdom of emptiness. So therefore now we are discussing the wisdom of emptiness. You're getting it, wisdom of emptiness, in order to get the right ultimate analysis or valid ultimate analysis. What's the benefit of that? All your fears will dissolve. The loss of freedom will be gone. And we can gain total freedom. Okay, so to understand this, to get the valid ultimate analysis, we have to understand what should we understand? To get the valid ultimate analysis, what should we understand? To understand so we should understand the emptiness. Emptiness of what? Emptiness of objective existence. You're getting, we have to understand objective existence. Emptiness of objective existence. So the Buddha did not teach this for 49 days. Emptiness of objective existence for 49 days, the Buddha did not teach. And to my amazement, this is a warning I'm giving to you. To my amazement, many years ago, I'm not going to mention the name, there was one gentleman who must be in his 50s then. And he came in contact, I don't know, some other Buddhism that came to, because being in Delhi, came to Tibet House and studying. And then he told me that Now I'm already in my 50s. I came in contact with the Dharma very late in my life. I have to make this life so meaningful. I have to study, practice. So I could see a sense of urgency. You're getting it? I could sense of urgency. And yes, the person is highly respected. Then after about a year, I again met a person, and the person was not at all. There's no the urgency there. Urgency disappeared. And then rather than him asking me, I asked him, "How about you practice wisdom emptiness?" He said, "No, I'm not meditating emptiness." I said, "Why?" He said, "I have my personal practice. I know what he's saying." He met with another teacher, and they just taught something I know. I don't want to mention who the teacher is. And then he felt so easy, so happy. Ultimate analysis, you have to study more. Look, layers, 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 layers. So without all these things, say there's some practices which are very easy. So which is easier, to give a cheesecake or to give a picture of a cheesecake? Which is easier? Picture of a cheesecake is very easy. You're getting it? You take a photograph and print it 1,000 times. Very easy. But pizza, you cannot reprint it 1,000 times. You're getting it? So piece of cheesecake, piece of what picture of the cheese given, and very happy. And saying that I have my own practice. This is a extremely self-destruction, self-deception. So therefore, in the mornings we read what? May my mind be directed towards thee. Hey, anyone remember? May my mind be directed towards the Dharma. May my Dharma be on the proper path. May the path be freed of flaws. Number 3, you're getting it? May my path be freed of flaws. That I go in the direction of enlightenment, awaken his mind, that it should not be deviated by some other wrong paths. And Bodhisattva Shantideva said that there are many wrong paths. So you may be so enthusiastic, I would awaken my Buddha nature, and then you go to the wrong path, finish. And then coming back to the proper track is very difficult. So the wisdom of emptiness, you must, before you really say that, oh, I'm practicing this, I'm practicing that, I'm practicing this, so forth, try to study more. Try to study more, then nobody can deviate you. Nobody can fool you. Nobody can deceive you. And people are not deceiving you deliberately, because they themselves follow that and they think that that's correct. So you should be the one. I'm not saying that what I'm teaching is correct. So I'm saying study more, so that you will be in a position to decide what is the actual path taught by the Buddha for the awakening your hidden treasure. So this is very important. So with this mind,
What does the 4 point mean? May I see the flaws in the light of the Buddha?
okay, this is a good point. In fact, this all the 4 things, the Tibetan, I think we require to retranslate a little bit, because this is a more literal translation. This is my translation. That when I translate, I make sure that first I maintain the loyalty to the original Tibetan source. I don't translate the meaning. I translate make sure that the word, whatever is there, is maintained. I don't take liberty. I'm not being too liberal in doing that. Then then sometimes when you're too literal in translation, sometimes the meaning gets lost, because it's a play of the language. The language differs. So the meaning is, may my mind be directed to the Dharma. It's very easy. Let's say there are 2 labels. One say pubs, nightclubs, and the other say Ngari Institute. You're getting it? And people go there. Parking is so less in Ngari Institute. You require a parking spot. You're getting it? Because everybody crowds there. So this is, may my mind be directed towards the Dharma. You're getting it? Because may my mind be directed towards the pubs. You don't have to pray, it happens. You're getting it? So therefore we have to pray, may my mind be directed towards the Dharma. Number 1. What is number 2? May my dharma practice be on the proper path. Meaning, what's number 2? Okay. As on the proper. Actually, it means that when I'm in pursuit of. Okay, so there are 2 places. One board said pubs, casinos, and the other one Ngari Institute too. Oh, may mind be directed towards Ngari Institute. This is my mind be directed to Dharma. In the process, going through Ngari Institute, and then you can become sick. You can become sick. You're not pulled by the pubs, but you can become sick. Or they say that your friends may become sick, you may have to help, and so forth. So therefore, your journey to Ngari Institute can be interrupted. So this meaning of may my dharma be freedom in the proper path, which means I don't face obstacles when going in the path. Next is, although I'm not sick, I'm healthy, I'm going there, somebody says, no, this is not a path. Where are you going? This is not a path. Where do you want to go? I want to go to Ngari Institute. This is not a path. There's another path. Which path? The path may drive to some way to another place, not to the pubs. In many cases, it can also take to the pubs. Wrong path. So that is the meaning of may my what? May my path be freed of the flaws. Flaws meaning wrong path. May I not be taken to the wrong path. Then finally, may the flaws be seen in the light of exalted wisdom. So this is a very high level practice. So this, after studying all these things, when you understand how there's no objective reality, once you're very confident that this objective reality, when you not just confident in the sense, say intellectual, reflection, and meditation, on all these 3 levels, you become very strong to say there's light, these are all like dreams. Then, even if you go to the pubs, you see that these are like dreams. So, even the flaws, pubs is a flaw, that flaw being seen in the light of exalted wisdom, meaning that be seen in the light of the path, exalted wisdom, the path. Yes, Terry.
You find page 40.
Sorry?
Can you see the page? It's page 40.
Okay, which page?
40.
40. Okay, so Terry is asking, don't just keep listening, look at the page, mark it. Page 40. Terry wants to make sure that you're well taken care of before he leaves tonight. You're getting, hey, listen to him, he's so kind. Page 40, marked? Hey, Pema, marked? Padma, marked? Good. And Yugandhar? Good. Okay. Okay, now done. Now don't digress me too much. But this is very good. Okay. Next. Is what we saying, verse number 4. Okay, now what we said is that you remember the 5 levels of emptiness, 5 levels of selflessness. You remember? 5 levels of selflessness or 5 levels of emptiness. Is there anybody who can tell me what the 5 levels of emptiness are? You may not remember by heart, even if you identify. Tenzin, do you remember? Or do you see that? Do you have to note? Okay, Yoginder, yes. Mike? Okay, let us all listen to what Yoginder said and to see if it is true or not.
So the 5 levels of selflessness are emptiness of permanent, unitary independent self. Number 2, emptiness of autonomous substantial reality. Number 3, emptiness of external reality. Number 4, emptiness of true existence while not rejecting objective existence. Number 5, emptiness of objective existence, inherent self-realized existence, and intrinsic.
Very good, thank you. Anybody who can recite it by heart? Say it by heart. Oh, are you sure? This is amazing. Okay, let's listen to Nidya.
Selflessness of a permanent, independent, unitary self, selflessness of substantial autonomous reality, selflessness of external reality, selflessness of true existence while not rejecting objective existence, selflessness of objective existence slash inherent existence slash intrinsic existence slash self-characterized existence.
Narrative studies? NIC? No. Amazing. From past life. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else who can say this by heart? Dedana? Try. Okay, let's listen to this young girl.
Selflessness of permanent unitary independent self, selflessness of orthogonal substantial reality, selflessness of external reality, selflessness of true existence while rejecting, while not rejecting objective existence, selflessness of objective existence slash inherent existence slash intrinsic existence slash self-characterized.
Wow, wonderful, amazing. Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Third, last one. Last, anyone? Okay, Padma.
Emptiness of unitary independent self, emptiness of autonomous substantial reality, emptiness of externality, emptiness of true existence while not rejecting objective existence, emptiness of objective, inherent, intrinsic, and self-categorized existence.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so today I'm very happy. Not today, now. This morning. Okay, now I'm very happy. Okay, thank you. Okay, look. So we're saying that these 5 levels of the selflessness or emptiness should be understood from the first to 5 progressively becoming subtler. So progressively becoming subtler. So now verse number 4 is teaching us the first level, which is emptiness of permanent, unitary, independent self. Okay, Padmala, just check the first. What is the first one that you wrote? You wrote emptiness of unitary. Did you write permanent? I think your permanent missing. Is missing? Is missing or not missing? Is missing. Yes, because when you said emptiness of unitary, independent existence or self. So permanent should be added before. Emptiness of permanent, unitary, independent self. Okay, good. Oh, this is Vizula. Welcome. Okay. So what is this understanding? Emptiness of permanent, unitary, independent self. This is very important. We have to know the concept. You're getting it? So as I said earlier, that whoever says something, be a good observer, good listener. You getting it? Be a good listener. What the other person is saying, other person maybe saying wrong. Listen well. Try to see in what way the person is saying wrong. If the person is saying good, try to say exactly get what the person said as correct. You're getting it? This is a great skill. There's a great skill which smart people, they have this skill. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, believe it or not, he's such a high level. And many people just go there first, the first interaction, you have a little bit of nervousness because it's so big, and then you feel yourself so small. And if you're not self-aware, you must start talking. And His Holiness will listen to you. He will not talk. You're getting it? Trump will not listen to you. Trump will talk to you. Trump will talk to you and he will leave. You're getting His Holiness will not talk. He will listen to you. Only when somehow you indicate that I need your advice, then His Holiness will advise. Otherwise, you keep talking, His Holiness will just keep listening to you. You're getting it? He's just catching every word you are saying to see what's going in your mind and listen to you with total love and affection. He will listen to you. He will not talk to you. So one time what happened was that somebody came to my office and he said, I have an audience with His Holiness. There was many years ago when this very mass audience was not happening. He was the head of one of the institutions in some way in another country. Then he told me that, say, I'm going there for an audience with His Holiness with respect to his institution, and I'm going there to seek advice. I think it's okay. Then he was telling me what he's going to inform to His Holiness. He talked to me for about like 20 minutes. He talked to me like 20 minutes. I was listening. I told him, okay, now when you go to His Holiness, are you going to receive advice from His Holiness, or are you going to brief His Holiness? Right? If you're going to brief His Holiness, that's fine. You talk to me in 20 minutes, you talk to His Holiness 20 minutes, and the secretary will come and he'll say, sorry, now your time is up. Right? Whereas if you go to seek advice, don't talk. You're getting it? Don't talk, because His Holiness will not talk to you. If you talk, His Holiness will listen to you. He's so compassionate. He's not like Trump. Trump will say, talk to you. And then he'll talk to you. He'll not listen to you. His Holiness will listen to you. So His Holiness will listen to you 20 minutes. And with this, the secretary is observing you, wasting His Holiness's time. Secretary says, sir, now time up, please wind up. Finish. You will not get any advice from His Holiness. If you want to go to get advice from His Holiness, just summarize whatever you have to tell, inform His Holiness in 2 minutes, maximum 3 minutes. And then openly tell, clearly tell, inform His, please give me advice in this regard. Then His Holiness will give rich advice for you. This will be real of benefit. Because what you have to inform, you already know. You know yourself. You know everything, you know that. There's nothing, okay. Just His Holiness heard about it and you think you are happy. That's it. You wasted your time, you wasted His Holiness's time. So therefore we should be great observant and good listener. You're getting it? You have to precisely know what the other person said, whether right, wrong, whatever. So person said 2 plus 3 equals 10. Don't react. Okay, so you said 2 plus 3 equals 10, which means you have heard it. You're getting it? So therefore, this is very important. We have to understand all these levels. Emptiness of permanent, unitary, independence. What is meant by that? Emptiness of autonomous substantial reality. What is meant by that? We have to know each one of them so precisely that later on when you meditate on emptiness, that you can see that what I'm meditating is not the first one, not the second one, not the third one, not the fourth one, it is the fifth one. Otherwise, if you don't know these levels, you think that you're meditating on the number 5, but you're not meditating. You may be meditating on number 1 or number 2. This is a great danger that happens to many people. Okay, having said this, the first one. What is the first one? Emptiness of permanent, unity, independent self. What is that like? Let me explain this very quickly here. Okay, say that self. What is self? This is the question which is explored by various traditions in the world. Within India, in Christianity, so I would say in Judaism, Christianity, Islam, in Western philosophy, in India, the various Indian traditions, like the various traditions of Hinduism, like Samkhya, Vedanta, Mimamsaka, Vaisheshik, Nyaya, and Jainism, Buddhism, even Charvaka. So they're all exploring this, they try to give the answer to this question, what is the self? So the Buddha indicated that one way by which people can have a sense of self, we all have the self-grasping ignorance. We have this. So the Buddha explained things in a very systematic way, whereby we can gradually reach there. And believe it or not, if somebody were to ask you a question about emptiness today, after 4 days or 5 days, so absorbed in emptiness, you don't remember which date. 5th. 5. Okay, so after with 5 days, nothing. But if somebody asks you questions on these things and you give answers, many people will be so happy to see that, oh, they are learning something solid. You're getting it? This is so precious. So now with this, We have to understand so these questions are explored. And the first one, emptiness of permanent unity and independence. What does it mean by that? Whether you accept it or not accept it doesn't matter. Whether you accept it, you reject it, it doesn't matter. You have to understand what it means. Once you understand what it means, then you are in a position to say whether it exists or not exists. You getting it? And if it's possible, you have to understand the second layer, third layer, fourth layer, fifth layer. Then you see the broad picture. Then you are the authority to decide which makes sense, which doesn't make sense. If you don't know these things, then if you still say that, oh, this is correct, this is totally blind faith. This is totally fundamentalism. You getting it? Emptiness, objective existence. You don't know what the first four layers of emptiness is, and you're born in a tradition where everybody's teaching emptiness of autonomous substance reality. So, according to our belief, is emptiness of objective reality, and you don't know what it means. So, this is a blind faith. It will lead to fundamentalism. You getting it? Is very dangerous. So you have to know it so well. Even what the things which you don't agree, you have to know that so well, and then you are in a position to say, I don't accept, I accept, whatever. Okay, the first, emptiness of permanent unitary independent self. So, say, ordinary people like us, generally speaking, if somebody pushes you, what is a self? What is a self? Somebody pushes you, and if you are, say, intellectually quite developed, meaning you have, so for example, modern education is something very good. Modern education is very good. The only thing it has its own demerits, but otherwise modern education is very good because it makes your intelligence flexible, can make you think easily. For example, my teacher, Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdul, who the Venerable met, who else? Namsala met, and Ajit Gesala is there, having the honor of attending to Genramshe. Very, 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 very meritorious, extremely meritorious. And Chola Kandela being there, Chola di Tendula, and Chola Kandela one time, two times, one time. Okay, Namsala went there, and who else? Yes, of course, Ajal is always there. Okay, so what I'm saying is that my teacher, look, my teacher did not have any modern education. Look at his thinking. You getting it? You look at his thinking. He's a brilliant philosopher, brilliant logician, psychologist, amazing enlightened master. So, two things I like to share of my teacher's his thinking. So, I was in my 20s, maybe 22, 23. And it's a great honor for me, just as Ajigya Sanla connected with Genramshe. How I connect with Genramshe is very much like accidental. It's not accidental. It's superficial. It looks like very accidental. And Genramshe, very smart, he senses that I had background in science. I had background in modern science. And Genramshe had the honor of attending the first conference, Mind Life conference, where His Holiness the Dalai Lama had it, and Professor Francisco Varela was there. He was a brilliant neuroscientist, world-renowned neuroscientist. So two of them with one Adam Engel, who was a businessman, two of them started this conference known as Mind and Life Conference, and now it has turned into an institute, Mind Life Institute. So the first conference, His Holiness presided over, and Professor Francisco Varela and his team were there, and His Holiness also invited my two teachers, Venerable Geshe Dorji and Venerable Geshe Dorji. Both are brilliant philosophers, psychologists. And then later, after many years, I think it may be about that was 87, and my meeting with my teacher was 93. How many years now? How many years? Okay, let's say 16, 17 years. So 16, 17 years later, my teacher said that there was one scientist, one young scientist. He is really very intelligent. You getting it? So, my teacher did not have any more education. And this scientist was talking about the neuroscience, to his holiness. And he said that this scientist is very intelligent. This one young, he happened to be Professor Francisco Varela. Yes, he is a naturally gifted. Okay, first he's a neuroscientist. And on top of that, he's a naturally gifted philosopher. Amazing. So, this is one thing. Now, number two, the incident that I noticed in my teacher is that he said that for the modern educated people, you don't have to teach the Buddhist philosophy from A, B, C, D, E, F. This is what he said. You don't have to teach the logic, Buddhist logic. Buddhist whole logic system is there. You don't have to teach Buddhist logic A, B, C, D, E, F. They already have created in the mind. This system is created in the mind already, which can absorb, which the ability to analyze things in a proper way, in a proper direction. They already have this tool. This one teaches, I'm so fascinated. Okay, so with this in mind, so what we need to understand the emptiness of permanent unitary independent self is that what's the self? To this question, one answer given by many tradition holders. Plus, even each one of us, we can also give the same answer. If somebody pushes you, if nobody pushes you, we have a vague idea, I exist, self-grasping ignorance is there. I exists as object real, solidly real, finish. But if somebody pushes you, so you said you are there, where is this you? Where is this you? If somebody pushes you, then you will be pushed. If somebody is very smart to push you deeper, then you will be cornered to accept that this self is permanent. Because this self travels from one life to the next life. It travels from one, so that it's permanent. And unitary meaning without parts. How? The parts that I have in the body, mind, and so forth, these are all going to be left behind. It's going to be left behind, and that this self has to travel. So the body and the mind, they have the parts, but the self per se does not have parts. So the body is impermanent, but the self is permanent, it travels. Body has parts, and the self does not have parts, it travels. And the body is dependent on food, housing, and so forth, but the self is independent. It doesn't depend on food. We require food for the body, not for the self. So self is independent. A self is permanent, unitary, independent, while the body is impermanent and multiple parts and dependent. You getting it? So in other words, the self and the aggregates, they're two distinct things. This is the concept of permanent, unitary, independent self. You're getting it? So if we are pushed by somebody, if you don't have any exposure to, for example, Arya Nagarjuna's philosophy and so forth, you are bound to say that yes, the self is permanent, unitary, independent. Many philosophers, they believe in this. So to make it very easy to understand, so what is this concept? Permanent, unitary, independent self is like, for example, say the aggregates, the five aggregates, they are like for example, okay, let's say that a mouse or a rat has got into this cloth. Rat has grown. The cloth and the rat, are these two separate things or same? How do you know that? How do you know that these are separate? Remove the cloth and the rat will be left behind the air. So these two are two distinct entities. You're getting it? So the cloth is like the five aggregates. And the rat inside is like the self. You're getting it? So remove the aggregates and the self will be left separate. So the aggregates are impermanent, but the self is permanent. Aggregates have multiple parts, but the self is unitary. And aggregates are dependent and the self is independent. So this is belief in permanent, unitary, independent self. Whereas the Buddha said that this is not true. Self does not exist in this form. You're getting it? Okay, but if you remember, I think on the day 1 and day 2, I did mention that the Buddha taught the 5 aggregates are the loads, and the person is the load carrier. You remember that? Indicating that there is a self which is permanent, unitary, independent. The Buddha did teach that in order to help those people who strongly believe in this. In order to help those people who strongly believe in this, the Buddha taught that. Then the next moment, the Buddha taught, okay, the self is not there, but what you see is the self based on the aggregates. They exist, but the self doesn't exist. This is the second level the Buddha taught. So there is more sophisticated. For example, let's say, what is this? Hey, Chuila, what is this? Fan. This is fan. Okay, now let's say, what is this fan? Actually, what you really see is the front part, which is not a fan. Front is not a fan, it's just a cover. And behind is also not a fan. And this fan blade is also not fan. Remove one, just dissect all these small pieces. The small pieces will be left. Where's the fan? Fan is just what your mind imputes. You're getting it? Fan is not there, but the parts are left there. Parts are there. The components are there. And the fan is not there. So self is like that. This is what the Buddha taught on the second level, where self is like the fan. You dissect this body, the form, feeling, discrimination, composite factors, consciousness, dissect them there, self dissolves. So these parts are there, but the self is not there, which means autonomous substantial self is not there. This is second level. You're getting it? Then the third one says that the self is there, the self, meaning that even the self, which you say, my body, I live in a house, all these bodies is external, they're just purely illusion. What is there is only your mind is there. This is another level of teaching Buddha gave. Because the audience, people who come to receive teachings from Buddha, they differ in their mindset. They differ in their temperament. They differ in their mental faculties. So Buddha taught different teachings depending on their needs. Okay, now for us, finally, we're so lucky. We're so lucky that because of the kindness of all these Nalanda masters, they put all these different teachings together for a single individual like you and I to study all these things and meanwhile keep growing, because we have the Buddha nature. We can grow. So for us to grow very fast, everything's put together. Emptiness of permanent unitary independent self. Okay, that's good. Then you move and you see that, there's something subtle there. Emptiness of autonomous substantial reality, emptiness of external reality, emptiness of emptiness of true existence while not rejecting objective existence, and emptiness of objective existence / intrinsic, the inherent, and so forth. So all these are set in the form of a formula for us. So easy. That is a great benefit for us. And okay, I don't want to digress too much. So with this, now let's see, turn to verse number 4, page number 150, verse number 4. Now, rejecting the self as permanent, unitary, independent. Believing the self, okay. So look, finally, our self-grasping ignorance is extremely like a chronic disease for us. Self-grasping ignorance within us is a chronic disease. It's so difficult to get rid of. Why? Self-grasping ignorance is a chronic disease, so difficult to get rid of. Why? Anyone guess? Hey, anyone guess? Self-grasping ignorance is so difficult to get rid of. You're getting it? Okay. Somebody says SUBTLER S-U-B-T-L-E-R. Okay, there's a young child, and me, 57 now, 57, and a little girl like this. Kaina, how old is he? 7. Kaina and Chuyang. These two girls are there, and they pronounce it as subtler. Subtler. And I also say subtler. You're getting it? And then subtler, and let's say, then Tenzila comes. Hey, Tenzila, raise your hand. Tenzila comes. Hey, Gishala, Chuyang, Kaina. It's not subtler. It's written as subtler, but it should be pronounced as subtler. You're getting it? And who do you think can change more quickly? These two girls or me? These two girls will change very quickly. And I will not change quickly. Why? Because I'm very old. You're getting it? Because all these like 57 years I said subtler, subtler. You're getting it? Plumber. You're getting it? Plumber. So these two girls said plumber, and I said plumber. And then they say like, it's not plumber. No, these two girls are saying plumber. No, she's asked the two girls, it's not plumber, it's plumber. No, Gishila is saying this. Are you sure? Gishila, how do you pronounce it? Plumber. Right? No, it's plumber. It's plumber. You're getting it? So now, within the span of few days, if there's somebody who has changed from plumber to plumber, who's that? The two young girls or the me? Two young girls. You're getting it? Because as time lapses, as time grows, it becomes a chronic disease. It's difficult to get it off. So self-grasping ignorance within us has become a chronic disease, because it has been with us for so long. Life after life after life after life, this is what has been within us, so chronic. Because of this, it is to be removed gradually. The grossest one is the belief in permanent unitary independent self. Okay, now let's see. Number 4, the self as postulated by the extremists meaning those who believe in self to be permanent unitary independent self. When you thoroughly analyze it with reasoning, such a self as permanent unitary independent reality, when you thoroughly analyze it with reasoning, within all the aggregates, if such a self exists, like here, like the rat, the mouse, under the cloth, say, where's the mouse? You look for this. And Kandela, what will you do? Where's the mouse? You are looking for the mouse. You remove the cloth, and the mouse is left there. So this is where you are looking for. If such a self exists, permanent unitary self, you look inside, you should be able to find it. When you thoroughly analyze it with reasoning, within all the aggregates, between the body and the mind, the aggregates, no way can you find the locus, meaning no way can you find such a self. Locus meaning such an instant, such an example of a self for it. Number 5. So how it is not found? How is not found? These are old reasonings. Now it's becoming a little technical. Aggregates exist. For example, what do you see existing is your aggregates, the 5 aggregates. What are the 5 aggregates? Anyone? What are the 5 aggregates? What are the 5 aggregates? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Raise your hand. Raise your hands. Raise your hands. I know this girl is expert. This girl is expert. Okay, here, Shayala. Shayala, this girl, raise her hand. What are the 5 aggregates? Huh? Yes.
Happiness.
Okay.
Love. Love.
Happiness, love.
Kindness.
Okay, happiness of form, love of the feeling, kindness of the discrimination, and patience.
patience,
patience with patience of composition factor, and bodhicitta,
yes,
bodhicitta consciousness. Amazing, thank you. Okay, okay. So we see that there are 5 aggregates within us. This is obvious. Now, number 5. Aggregates exist. We see the 5 aggregates are there. This is empirical. We can see that. And the aggregates exist but are not permanent. Aggregates are impermanent. If the self is permanent, aggregates are impermanent. So the nature of this self and the nature of the aggregates are very opposites. So therefore, removing the cloth, which is like the aggregates impermanent, permanent should be left. And there's no permanent left to be seen. Aggregates exist but are not permanent. They do not have the nature of selfhood, and within the aggregates, there's nothing which is the permanent selfhood. A permanent and an independent, because the self as the extremist belief is seen as permanent, and the aggregates that we see is impermanent. These two cannot be exist as a support and supported. You're getting it? Cannot exist as a support and supported, meaning that say, oh so my body is dependent on me. I am let's say that I am the supported, or I'm the owner, and my body is owned. I possess my body. So my body is impermanent, then this I is permanent. So these two distinct entities, these two have 2 different qualities. I, extremist belief, is permanent, and aggregates are impermanent. So therefore, so when I say I am a boy, I have a body and I am a boy. These are very different. I am a boy means I identify myself as a boy based on my body. And my body is impermanent and I'm permanent. If they, as they believe, extremists believe. So these two cannot be support and supported. Number 6. If the so-called self does not exist, now with these reasons, if you're able to establish such a permanent, unitary, independent self does not exist, how can the so-called agent be permanent? Then how can you say that, okay, I'm working, I'm studying, I'm attending a retreat, I'm the agent, and what all that, for example, the Geshe Dorji, he's like the agent who created all this beautiful space. So if he's if the agent, okay, if the so-called self doesn't exist, if the agent exists, then we can talk about what the agent creates, what the agent makes. But if the agent doesn't exist, then what the agent created doesn't make sense. Attributes of the agent doesn't make sense. If the so-called self doesn't exist, how can the so-called agent be permanent? If such a permanent self is not there, how can you talk of the agent which makes things as permanent? If things do exist, if the person does exist, or if the house exists, then one could investigate the attributes. Attributes meaning the qualities. If the flower exists, then we can talk about the qualities of the flower. If the permanent self exists, then we can talk about the qualities of the permanent self. When the permanent self is rejected, you cannot talk about the qualities of the permanent self. Okay, next, number 7. So number 7 requires a little bit of technical thinking. Since a permanent cannot function to cause, say that the permanent self or the permanent entity which governs. Okay, this is very interesting. This is one thing that we need to learn. And to be very honest, I personally, came to my eyes become more wide open because of exposure to many of the conferences, meeting with people from different traditions. That was very, very eye-opening for me. So therefore, now, to be very honest, I just want to learn things. It doesn't matter whether it's wrong or right. It doesn't matter. If you think it's wrong, how it's wrong, you have to know this. That's good. And meanwhile, you keep growing. So here we see that for example, in India, it's amazing. And in the olden times, there different philosophical traditions evolved. And the question was, this basic question arose, that who created the universe? Who created the universe? This was a question arose in India, in the West also. And of course, in other places also, in Egypt and many places also. It's not only India and the West. This question arose 1,000 years ago. So, particularly, I would say that in India, I cannot say that what kind of answers came in the other parts of the world. I can say two for not with great surety, but the Christianity, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, what they say, I know. In India is amazing. It's so rich in India. In India, some philosophers. So in India, philosophers and the religious believers, they are together. It's one person, and the philosophy is for the sake of religious purpose, for the sake of your enlightenment or moksha, whatever. This is very important. This is very interesting. If you really see how the different traditions evolved in India, this is extremely about open-minded society. This is amazing, open-minded, but it can lead to close-mindedness. Very dangerous also. Whereas if you know all these things, background, then you can become very open-minded. You will not mind, this is one tradition, this one tradition is fine. There's no contradiction, it's fine, right? It can be right, it can be wrong, it's fine. So one tradition says that who created all these things? One tradition says that finally, say, what is this universe? This what is this planet Earth? Planet Earth is like rocks, water, and trees, and so forth. And what are these? These are made of atoms. And finally, they are the partless atoms. Partless atoms. These partless atoms are the creator of the universe. Amazing. They really thought about it. They really thought about it. Partless atoms are the creators of the universe. This is exactly what modern science, modern physics talks about. Then modern physics says that whole universe should operate on it operates on the basis of the physical law of cause and effect. This is what they say. This is exactly what was said by one of the Indian traditions in the past. Now another tradition evolved, saying that look at the mango trees. Most of the mango trees. Oh, what is that? Ananda, what is that? From the left or past? Left or past? It's actually past. No, it's past here. Okay. Wow, Ananda is very precise. Kungala, thank you. Okay. So some say this is amazing. Wow. It's mind-blowing. It's amazing. Some say that look at the mango trees. You plant the mango trees, and then 1 year it grows the mangoes. And then for the next 3 months, the next 3 years, they will not give you mango. You should be happy with that, right? What I gave you last year, you should be happy with this. I'll not give you mango for the next 3 years. Next 3 years, they will not give you mangoes. And then know when the 3 years complete. What is that? The time. So that the time decides that this mango tree will give rise to mangoes in 3 years. And in 3 years exactly, it will give rise to mangoes. And the next 3 years, no mangoes. Amazing. And some flowers, some vegetations, they require like long sunlight. And some they require less sunlight. You're getting it? And with the less sunlight, then they grow. With the more sunlight, some others grow. With the less sunlight, they don't grow. And who decides? The time decides. So they say that time is the creator of the universe. It's not like God created the universe. No. No, this is very open-minded. It's amazing. So time is the creator of the universe, one of the Hindu traditions. The particles are the creator of the universe, another Hindu tradition. Today we call it Hindu. Otherwise, in the earlier days, Vaisheshika, Nyaya, Mimamsaka, and the word Samkhya, Vedanta, and so forth. It's amazing, very open-minded. And then one system is very interesting. One system is very interesting. So today we say God, and if you say something, no, God doesn't exist, then people will become so emotional, angry. But in those days, India is not an issue. They can debate very easily. So some say that God depicted as a very different prakriti, very interesting concept. This concept developed as the creator of the God, creator of the universe. So what it says is that, they say what truly exists is only two things: the prakriti, who creates everything, who creates things, and the other one is the self. Self, Purush, and the prakriti, these two exist really there. All the other things are simply the creation of the prakriti for the self. Why? Being kind, not kind. Prakriti is not kind. Prakriti, God is absolutely kind. You're getting it usually. But Prakriti as a God is not kind. It's very evil. Because it wants you to be trapped in samsara. It wants you to be trapped in samsara. How to trap? Right? It gives you the facilities. It gives you body. With the body, the stomach comes. With the stomach, you feel hungry. When you become hungry, you will not put effort to practice dharma. You look for food. Right? So time will be gone. And you good food, you are so happy, happy birthday to you, family gathering. What? We have lunch together. What lunch? To feed the belly. Who gave the belly? Prakriti gave the belly. You're going to get just to make sure that you don't practice dharma. Prakriti did everything. You're getting it? And then they say that it gives the body in such a way, this body cannot bear the heat. Cannot bear the heat. So therefore, in summer, the Prakriti gives you the coolers. Coolers, and then you go to the cooler all the time. And then the electricity for the night. You're getting it? And the electricity breaks down. And he gives you generator. Generator breaks down, and then you suffer. You're getting it? This is Prakriti's job, to make sure that you're trapped in samsara. So, everything else other than Prakriti himself and the self, Purush, the person, and the Prakriti, the rest are all created by Prakriti to deceive you and trap you in samsara. And some Prakriti also create UPSC. Right? What a UPSC? With UPSC, then I get a good job. You're getting it? That's created. Oh, that's good. Then you forget Dharma practice. Then you go there. And Prakriti also created need. Right? Need. Okay. And then you cannot clear it and you cry. Right? No Dharma, you cry. Again, second attempt, third attempt, and Prakriti made you fail. Right? And Prakriti again give you hope. Now try again. So this is how Prakriti simply creates everything so that you'll be trapped in samsara. You're getting it? Then one day, you meet with, let's say, a teacher or some Dhamma practice, and then you start meditating. And then your mind is not disturbed like this. Your mind becomes very calm. When the mind becomes calm, the mind gains the power to see subtle realities. Then who is creating all these things? You will analyze through clairvoyance. You get the clairvoyance. With the clairvoyance, you check it. You will see that this is all the creation of the Prakriti, right? And Prakriti is meanwhile observing you. Observing you, like observing you. Okay, I created need, right? I created need, and then Jigme, they're stressed. I'm so glad they will not go into Dharma, right? So, and then meanwhile, they too started to come to Ngari Institute, and meditate, and they gain clairvoyance, and they checked who created need. Prakriti created need. You discovered that. And meanwhile, Prakriti is observing what these two are doing. Prakriti observing, and Prakriti discovered that. They now discovered that Prakriti is doing everything. Prakriti felt so ashamed of that, so ashamed, embarrassed, and quickly retrieved need. Quickly retrieve everything. And what is left? Only you are left. Right? Your body is withdrawn. Body withdrawn, no hunger, no cold, no thirst. You don't look for food, you don't look for the aircon, you don't have to look for a car because you don't have a body. Because we don't need car, because the body is not there. Your mind can travel very easily. So therefore everything withdrawn, and you don't need what? In the first place, you don't need car at all. You don't have to travel. Travel because I want something. You don't need anything. So then the self alone is left, where hunger, thirst, fear, anxiety, all these are withdrawn. That is moksha, that is liberation. This is how the Samkhya explains. You getting it? The God concept of Samkhya. Not God, creator as concept. So they say the Indian classical Indian traditions accept the particles as the creator of the universe. Some accept the time as the creator of the universe. Some accept the Prakriti as the creator of the universe. So like this, some they accept the Trinity, the creator, abider, and the destroyer. You getting it? So some they accept that. So different traditions came into being. And then the Buddha came, and they created, there's no except separate creator. It is your own karma which creates everything. You're getting it? Okay. So for there, the Buddha said that all these what you accept otherwise, you see there are contradictions there. This is all the creation of the people's mind. There are contradictions there. So all the contradictions being identified. Okay. Verse number 7. Since a permanent cannot function. Okay, now look. If the creator, let's say the creator is the permanent, creator is the independent entity, creates a permanent independent entity. Since permanent cannot function to cause, if the creator, agent, let's say the agent, which creates everything, if that is permanent and if that is independent, okay, this is very extremely good reasoning. Just analyze it. And it's not that you have to reject somebody, you have to, no, this is wrong, this is a stupid thing. No, just learn these things and then see, meanwhile, your intelligence grows. That's what you require, what I require. So if, say for example, let's say that, okay, let's say that this little girl, she's at the moment 6 years old, 6 years. Hey, Chuyang, 6 years. 6 or 7. How old are you? 7 years old. Okay. So this girl is 7 years old. And okay, by the way, I'd like to ask you, how many of you had the experience of building a house from scratch, you prefer building, renovation, whatever. Reasons? Okay, most of us, we have that experience. So let's say, how did it happen? So day one, this is plan, and the next day the whole building came up. Yes, no? No. So it happened sequentially. So then now the argument is that, Arya Nagarjuna's argument is, if there is the creator, the entity, agent, which has the full power to do things, which can decide to do everything, then why not that his function is to create things. Let's say build a house for you. So this house can come, there are two ways of the house coming into being. You agree that either it should come sequentially, gradually, or it should come suddenly. There are only two possibilities, yes? Okay. But the reality is that house never comes suddenly. You getting it? It is sequential. If that is created, if it is created by some agent which is fully powerful, does not depend on any other things, then the house should be coming suddenly altogether, complete. And tell me, why say it took a few months or a few years for you to complete the house? Why? Why, say, for example, let's say your house, the pillar and the ceiling, which came first? Pillar came first. Okay, pillar came first. And why not the pillar and the ceiling together? Why not? Huh? Why collapse?
First you need to put the pillar
First the pillar.
and then the ceiling on top.
So why? So dependent on the pillar, ceiling should stand. Without dependence on the pillar, ceiling cannot stand. You getting it? So therefore, same, the pillar comes first, followed by ceiling because of the dependent origination. So therefore, say even if you are the creator, you first put the pillar first, and you don't have the power to put the ceiling first. If you are all omnipotent, if you're omnipotent, which means you have the full power, not dependent on the pillar, then you should put the ceiling first, and the pillar can come later. But you are dependent. Even you don't have the power to put the ceiling first and the pillar next, because the ceiling depends on the pillar. So it is not your full power. So you are not the omnipotent. You're getting it? These are the very powerful reasons given there. So since a permanent entity, the permanent phenomena or the agent cannot function to cause in gradual. If it's gradual means, why gradual? Why not together? Gradual means dependent on some other factors, which means you don't have the power fully. You're not omnipotent. And instantaneous also. You cannot create all these things instantly together because you don't see that. Because if the instant together, all the results should come together. For example, like you remember a story of the saying, and then the one mango tree can give rise to how many mangoes in one season? Anyone? Oh, depends. In Ladakh, in Ladakh.
No mango. Mango cannot be cultivated.
I'll tell you a story, very interesting story. Lama Disha, when he was invited to Tibet, it is said that he laughed only 2 times. He laughed only 2 times. And there's one person who interacting with me laughed 2 times so heartily. The first was that somebody, me upon reaching Ladakh, somebody brought a huge mangoes. Then I asked, oh, these mangoes, in Ladakh, these mangoes grow. The person is a hearty laughter, right? Hearty laughter, right? Hearty laughter. I never saw that person laughing like this, like having a hearty laughter. This is the first one, right? Because in Ladakh, you don't grow any mangoes, right? And this man is saying that it grows in Ladakh. So the second one was, and the gentleman, he was using this mango peel as a cup and put the curd on this and taking the curd. Again, laughter, hearty laughter, that person. 2 times laughter I've seen. Right? And who's that person? I'll not disclose it. Who? No. Okay. It is just digression. Next. Now, what I'm saying is that the mango trees, one mango tree in a season, let's say it gives rise to 500 mangoes. Let's say 500, some give like 2,000 mangoes. So let's say 500 mangoes. And then if the mango tree survives for the next, how many years? Let's say 15 years. Let's say 15 years, which means after 3 years, every 3 years it gives the mangoes. 500, 15 into 3, 15 divided by 3 is? 15 divided by 3 is 5. So 5 into 500 is 25,000. 2,500, 2,500. So if the agent or the creator has the power, the power to create the results simultaneously, then the 2,000 to 2,500 mangoes should arise simultaneously. But it takes 15 years. You getting it? It doesn't happen. So therefore, the instantaneous giving rise to all the results is not true. And gradual result means it is dependent on other factors. Why together? Why not together? Why not together? Because dependent on other factors. These factors missing, he cannot do anything. Which means he is not omnipotent. You getting it? Okay, this is a very powerful reason. Since a permanent cannot function to cause in gradual or instantaneous terms, so both without meaning outside the self, like the external objects, like the flower, the pot, the house, and so forth, without and within means the self. No such permanent entities exist. No such permanent entities, meaning permanent entities which creates, which is full omnipotent, having the permanent means no sequence. Sequence means change. Change means impermanent. You're getting it? So therefore such a permanent entity cannot exist. Okay. 8. If it were potent meaning if this agent called as the prakriti or whatever, if it is potent meaning having all power of the, say what, omnipotent, why would it be dependent? Say, why does it not put the ceiling first and the pillar later? No. Ceiling depends on the pillar, which means you don't have the power to put the ceiling independent of the pillars, which means you are dependent on the pillars. So you are not omnipotent. You are not having the full power. So you are dependent also. You are also dependent. You are not independent. You are dependent on these factors. So if it were potent meaning if it's all powerful, why would it be dependent? For it would bring forth everything at once. So if it is not dependent, it should everything together. If not together, sequential means why sequential? Because some factors are missing at that point, which means you are dependent on that factor which is missing. That which depends upon something else is therefore it is neither eternal nor potent. So this word eternal changes to permanent rather than eternal. Eternal has a very different meaning. Eternal means lasting forever. Lasting forever doesn't mean permanent. So here the word should be permanent. It's neither permanent nor potent. Potent meaning omnipotent. Okay, we'll stop here. Tabge tuje shaye rizo chon shenge mito dege ponjomba serge lumbo tabo jebe ko shaye kela cha se no oh mone mahamona yeswa oh Mone Mahamona Yeswa Oh Mone Mona Yeswa Oh Mone Mahamona Yeswa Oh Mone Mahamona Yeswa Oh Mone Mahamona Yeswa Three persuasions together.